Hello and welcome to Veterans Helping Veterans TV. I'm your guest host today, Melissa Washington, and I've been honored to been asked by Sheryl Shaffer to host the program here today. As a Navy veteran and a Marine Corps wife, I know how critical it is for our veterans and their families to find quality resources and to find resources that are accessible to them. There are so many benefits that we have as veterans and that we've earned that we may not know that are there, or we may not even know how to find them. So today on the program today, we're going to talk about how veterans throughout the state of California can find accessible resources at our state libraries. And on our show, I want to welcome Joanna Arteaga La Spina.
Yeah, you got it.
Yay! The Community Learning Program Specialist, that's a lot, from the San Mateo County Library, and is here to discuss the Veterans the Veterans Connect program at the library. And again, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us about, first of all, your role at the library and why you got involved with this program to help the veterans.
All right, so I came into the world of libraries over 2.5 years ago, coming from a social services background. And I grew up in Civil War in a country where when you're in your senior year of high school, you have to go and serve in the military as a male. So working with veterans and doing some type of social services is very dear to my heart, and it's in my blood. So in the libraries, what I do is I coordinate and lead programs that have either a social service component or a literacy component or both, such as Veterans Connect at the library.
So with that, what other, we'll talk a little bit about the San Mateo County Library as it's going to be seen here locally in the area. So tell us what other programs that are at the library.
Of course. So San Mateo County Libraries is composed by 12 libraries across the county of San Mateo, which is from Brisbane all the way to East Palo Alto. And we also have a bookmobile and a lot of e-services or electronic resources. In the libraries, we have a lot of programs serving the diversity of our community, including people whose language is not, their first language is not English, our veterans, homeless population, and the traditional things that you think about a library. For example, going and get books for your research paper at school, or maybe getting a tutor to help you read and write as a child or as an adult, or your story times, of course.
So out of the 12 libraries, how many of them have the Veterans Connect program?
Very good question. So our post is at East Palo Alto, which is inside the City Hall on University Avenue. And we are housed inside the Community Learning Office, which is also our literacy space, where adults come and get help with their English learning. And veterans have they have a computer for them, a phone line, and access to printing as they're accessing services themselves. It's exclusive for them. The rest of the libraries have a floating collection that we call it, that is exclusive for veterans. It's suggested by the state library, and that's how veterans can access services across the whole county.
So when you think about getting help for veterans, the library is probably the furthest from anybody's mind, right? I mean, you don't think of go to the library, you just say, well, go to the VA. So, so why was this program started here in California?
Well, California has the highest volume of veterans in the country. I think it's 1.8 million,
yeah,
right?
Close to 2 million, yeah.
Right, and it's gonna continue growing. Most veterans are moving to the south and west of the county, or the country, I should say. And libraries are safe spaces. Libraries have actually always served diverse populations, including veterans. It's just now it's becoming more of part of our regular mission or our core to have special programs for special populations, such as the veteran population. Also because the new wave of veterans coming up do not use or access services that as veterans prior to the new ones we call would access. So a library is a good place to start. It's known, everybody knows the library since you're a little kid. So why not have an exclusive space that is inviting and welcoming for veterans?
Absolutely, and also their families too.
Exactly, and their families, right? If you are a veteran and have your children with you, the children can be doing something while you're checking out something at the Veteran Connect or talking with a volunteer. You can be doing something at the computer with accessing some free services with our library cards that while your kid is playing or being at the story time or doing a craft or as a family, you might be accessing a veteran program, specialty program for veterans and their families.
Definitely. You know, and one thing that I really like about this too, it's when most people say you need help for veterans, they send you to the VA, which VAs, they're there for health care. But there's so many other resources that you provide, which we're going to talk about. And like I said, it's a safe environment, right? It's that friendly face when you walk into the library. And I don't know who thought of this idea, but I think it's a great marriage, right, of services that we give to our veterans, and they're in the community. And like you said, it's welcome. It's accessible to families. You come as you are. And like I said, a lot of veterans, and even women veterans, we're not accessing those traditional veteran service organizations, which does provide some of these resources. And sometimes it might be hard to get to. But having the library be accessible is a great resource for our veterans. And a lot of times, I think probably for a lot of people watching, they probably even know, right?
Yeah, like what? Libraries have books. What else can they have? Well, the biggest secret in libraries is that we're way more than books. Besides services that we're talking about, specifically catered to veterans, you know, if you go into the library as a veteran, you might find that you can check out a computer, a laptop combo, we call it, with a hotspot.
Wow.
Because we're meeting the need to be connected. You might need a bike lock because you forgot your bike lock and you're in bicycles. Many veterans are unable to drive due to certain injuries or diagnoses. And so they are on their bikes and they can get the help at the library or go and get free repairs.
This is a fantastic program which we're going to delve a little more into the ins and outs and how this is run, but where does the funding come to support this type of program?
Okay, this question is always a mouthful. So there is this U.S. Institute of Museum and Library Services, which funds it under the provisions of the Library Services and Technology Act. In California, those funds are administered by our state librarian.
So we get the money. So what happens if this funding runs out? What do you think will happen to this program? And hopefully it won't. Hopefully funds will continue. But what happens to our veterans in the service?
So it's up to the local libraries to fund it, and hopefully friends of the library, organizations, and people that are committed to serving veterans can support programs when they run out of funding.
Well, and hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully this will continue to be funded, like I said, through the U.S. Institute of Museum and Library Services there.
Correct.
So we talk about the libraries, your library here in San Mateo County, but how many libraries are in this program in California?
Good question. So this program started in 2012, or the first grants went out in 2012. And there were 50 libraries, or there are 50 libraries right now across the whole state that have a Veteran Connect post. And then there's, I believe, 10 more coming in line between 2017 and 2018 that would make it a total of 60.
Absolutely. And hopefully our viewers are able to see the map. I mean, you see all these little dots around the library. I mean, we're pretty much from all the way up north to all the way south.
Correct.
So there's a lot of accessibility with almost 60 libraries here. Now, when did you guys start?
So the program started in 2014, and I took it over on 2015, and it continues even though the grants are normally 2 years long. Even though the grant ran out, we have continued providing the same services since then.
That's awesome. So tell us, because again, I don't think a lot of people watching even know about this. So what are the libraries doing, and is there any partnerships that you have in the community?
Yes, partnerships are crucial. So the mission of Veterans Connect is to support what they call reintegration to civilian life. That can mean many things. So for example, veterans who from previous eras, from Desert Storm backwards, when they were they left the military, normally they didn't have a guide on how to reintegrate into civilian life. So there's a lot of veterans from those areas that need the basics. They need to be connected with the basic services that any veteran nowadays knows the moment they leave the military. They get, I believe it's like 30 days, 90-day orientations, transitions.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of vets prior to the system that didn't get any of that. So they can come to the library with the basic questions and just get connected through the computer with a volunteer to portals in the, with local organizations. So the primary organizations that Veterans Connect partner with are the County Veteran Service Office, the CalVet, which is our version of the federal VA, and MyCalVet, which is the website.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, depending on where you are, there's certain local organizations that you work closely with. In this county, we do it with Peninsula Vet Center. Other counties do it with the County Vet Center. And those are the main partnerships that we need to be crucial part of the community.
And with that, what do you see as, you know, the top 3 services that our veterans are seeking when they do realize that there's the Veterans Connect program?
Employment, housing, health, and actually the 4th one, education, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
In this area, housing is very difficult to come by that is affordable or even adequate. So housing resources, and honestly, you know, within the veteran population, homelessness is overly represented by veterans. So in places like East Palo Alto, we have catered services for cases of homelessness.
Wow. And that's, again, just a really great resource, because homeless, I mean, they might even just walk into the library for shelter, right?
Exactly, yes, exactly. And then we give meals at the library. At East Palo Alto, we give meals to adults and children at 3:30 p.m.
Really?
Monday through Friday. And I don't know if we still are doing snacks. For waves, we do snacks at noon, but meals at 3:30 Monday through Friday.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So you can just come in and have a meal. That's it.
Right. So you talked about in the library, okay, we know there's books, but tell us what else about, you talked about the computers. Are there other programs that the library puts together for veterans?
Yes. So what our niche is to complement services already available in the community. Here in this area, we have the VA in Palo Alto, and we have the VA complex in Menlo Park. We have Peninsula Vet Center in Menlo Park, and other services that are very comprehensive for veterans. What providers tell us is that the biggest challenge is to be able to help veterans access services online, because many times veterans don't have even the capability of knowing how to surf the internet, or don't have email, things like that. So at the library, we do that already in a regular basis. With Veterans Connect, what we do is we train staff to be able to know the basics on how to help a veteran that wants to access services online when they're doing coaching. So for example, you're coming in, you don't have an email, you're being told you need to access some service for your medical benefits or your claim online, and he asks for an email, you have no idea. You can sit down with somebody at the library or a volunteer from Vets Connect and access everything online with a helping hand that is trained and sensitive to whatever your needs are.
That's awesome. And I've also noticed too, some of the libraries, which will show, are showing films. And
Yeah.
I participated in a women vet panel that the library hosted. So it's all these other great programs that the library is bringing into the community to help, not only help the veterans, but also highlight the veterans in their community as well.
Correct. You'll see anytime there's a special holiday, there'll be displays. There'll be probably films being played. There might be story times special for veterans and their families. And not only for veterans, but the community as a whole, bridging and creating these spaces where communities can learn from each other, civilians with non-civilians, things like that can happen at the library. And volunteers sometimes are the ones that tell us, okay, you know, we should do this program, or a veteran that is coming in says, you know, it would be good if you have this. Sure, let's figure it out if we can set it up for you, like the movies. Oh, we need popcorn. Okay, somebody bring the popcorn. Things like that.
And what's great too is you're not just restricted to the library. The libraries get out in the community.
Yes. So we're lucky enough that we have a bookmobile in San Mateo County, and we had a one-day stand down at the event center in San Mateo, and we took the bookmobile there. We waived fines, we opened library cards, people checked out the materials, they found out all these electronic things that they could do. We helped them download apps on their phone, and they were able to check out movies and download free music right from their phone, as you know, we were there at the stand down.
That's fantastic. And just, you know, veterans that just, the Veterans Connect the Library gets out there, you'll see the orange tablecloth.
The orange tablecloth.
Yes, it's very
yes.
hard. Yeah, it's very hard to miss that tablecloth at
Yes.
different community events, but it's a great outreach because not only you're just at the library, but you're also out in the community too. So some of the benefits that a lot of veterans may not think that they qualify for or even understand, one of them is the college fee waiver, which is big here in California. Also, too, getting the word veteran on your license.
Yes.
And another one, in which you talked a little bit about, is housing.
Yes.
So it's, you know, finding, okay, do I qualify for housing and do that? And this is a great place, a good start for some of our, you know, veterans and their families to go in to talk to someone. And I know the Veterans Connect the Library put a really nice PSA together that we're going to watch here that shows the process that a veteran went through to purchase his home utilizing the VA home loan guarantee, and we're going to watch that here right now.
Ron is a Desert Storm veteran who recently moved to California for a job promotion. In his quest to purchase a home, he ran into roadblocks that often happen to first-time buyers who apply through commercial lending institutions. Frustrated and not sure what else to do, Ron decided to attend a homebuyer seminar hosted at his local public library. There he met Bill, a skilled volunteer and veteran himself at the library's Veteran Resource Center. Bill introduced Ron to the CalVet Home Loan Program that offers assistance and low interest rates to military veterans. Ron is thankful for the great resources available through Veterans Connect at the library, as the roadblocks are opening for his first California home purchase. Would you like to help veterans like Ron learn about their benefits? Contact your local public library to volunteer.
Wow, that was right. Not to say it's an easy process, but it's a great process when you have, whether you want to call them a coach or somebody there that you can connect with at the library. And actually the gentleman that was at the library there is a volunteer. So tell me about who works at these different veteran resource centers at the library.
All right, so the veteran resource centers are primarily staffed by volunteers. Usually there's a staff in the library that is in charge of the program, but volunteers are the ones that really run it. So in our case, one of the things that we've done too is train the staff at the branches themselves to be able to maybe answer questions if there's not a volunteer, but volunteers are the life and blood of the program. So they get trained on the basics of what are the main services that you want to connect veterans, how to just be patient, because veterans, as many other communities that have gone through trauma or have some serious challenges to access services, need a lot of time to trust somebody else.
Absolutely. And a lot of times it's easy a veteran with a veteran, right?
Exactly, exactly. If we have people that are veterans or family members of veterans, I'm like, please, please stay, do more than 2 hours a week, please, because there's so much information to digest, and it's so meaningful that when it's a vet that is doing it, it's amazing, right? Vet to vet.
And you train them, so it's not like, here you go, here's your table and here's your chair. There is training that's involved.
Of course, there's training, there's support. It's a community, so we're building community, and volunteers, bring their richness to our community.
Absolutely. And so for more information, you can go to the library website, which is going to should be on the bottom here of our screen. We also, there's a website they can go to as well. You can click on volunteers, you can click on veterans to be able to get information. You can call the libraries directly and say, hey, I'm interested in volunteering, or if they need resources. So if somebody has some extra time, and they want to contribute and truly help our veterans and their families, to definitely reach out to our libraries.
Exactly, and if you don't know how can you help, trust me, we have a lot of ideas that you can help us with.
Well, one of the things too is I wanted to share for me and my organization, Women Veterans Alliance, is I have a great partnership with the libraries, and one of the reason is because a lot of times women don't identify themselves as veterans. So we may get women that come into the library that may not even identify themselves as veterans. And I know a lot of the volunteers too is, some of them, I think in the beginning were afraid to ask women if they served, and now a lot of them do. So it's just like, it's okay to ask women about that, and I think it's fantastic. But a little over 2 years ago, I started a professional networking group up in Sacramento for women veterans, and it's now the fastest and largest growing women veterans organization. And we actually have a chapter in Silicon Valley, not too far from here. But one of the great things that I've have the relationship with the library, and they see the importance of getting women connected, is they had sponsored, we had what we call the Unconference a few months ago in Sacramento, and they sponsored women to attend.
Yes.
Which was amazing. And next month, October 13th through the 15th, in the City of Industry, they're going to sponsor women again, which is amazing. So what they do is they reach out to you and everyone at the different libraries and say, hey, do you have women there, or maybe women that come in that you want to sponsor, and let's get these women and let's get them connected. And they also have a table. They had a table this past time, and they'll have a table there providing the different resources, to let our women know that the library is a resource in the community. And our what we call the Unconference, it's open to all women veterans, active duty, Guard, and Reserve. And we also open it up to caregivers and spouses, where we know that a lot of times the caregivers and spouses are the ones also helping the women as well. So we got a few extra minutes. I just, of course, had to put that plug in for my organization too, and the partnership that we have with the library, because I think it's so important for us to all be connected and helping each other.
Yes, correct. That's what makes it rich, and that's what makes it powerful.
Absolutely. So it's like, if I can't help, well, over here can help, and if they can't help over here, let's, it's all about forming the community to help give access to our veterans with, quickly, to get them resources quickly, and quality resources too. Correct. So with that, again, I got a couple minutes. So just, if there's like a story that you could share that comes to mind, just something that, whether it's a tearjerker or just something that you've seen in these last couple years that this program has done for any of the veterans or families.
Well, I think of my star volunteer. He's not with us anymore because after starting to volunteer with us, doing a lot of work of outreach and connecting himself to services that he was just coming to volunteer, and he connected to services that were very beneficial for him. He secured employment, and he's doing great. Just seeing the changes that just coming 2 hours a week, 4 hours a week can make on somebody's life is very moving. Having veterans come in and that are in their 60s and opening their Facebook account with the help of a volunteer and connecting with people that they haven't talked to in ages because they were homeless for so long, and they disconnected from everything. Those moments are so precious, so, so precious.
And you were earlier sharing with me a story too about how this is impacting your staff.
Yes. So every time I'm gonna do a program and I tell the staff through email, across the system, every so often I get emails back from staff. Thank you for doing this. My parent, my brother, my sister, my fiance, my husband, my wife, veterans, are veterans, and this is very meaningful. That it makes it so worth it, and it's always like that. Just because I don't hear from it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Veterans come in all the time, and they might not access the services, but they really appreciate that there's a space for them in the library.
Absolutely, a safe space. So again, Joanna, I want to thank you for what you're doing to help our veterans, and thank you for coming in here to share all this great information about how our community libraries are truly helping not only our veterans, but also their families. And you've shared a lot of great resources. One of the things too, if you're out there watching, is if you're on Facebook, or if you need help getting on Facebook, you go to one of the libraries.
That's right.
To get connected to Facebook. But you can go ahead and search for Veterans Connect at the library and like the page. Also, Women Veterans Alliance, we have a Facebook page, so you can like our page. And that way, too, you can get a lot of different information and get that updated pretty much on a daily basis. And again, go visit the website if you need information. You know, and there's always things, and even with myself as a veteran, a spouse, I'm learning new things all the time about different resources. Right. That are available, whether it's through, you know, CalVet or through the VA, and understanding that. But what I did want to do is I want to all of our men and women that have served, I really want to truly thank you for your service. You know, and as a woman veteran, we don't hear that as much. And it's very funny because when I'm with my husband, even though he's a vet, they always think
him,
my husband. And I could have the hat on, the shirt, the flashing lights that I'm a veteran, and they'll still go and they'll still shake his hand. And again, thank you for coming in and connect with us via social media. And one of the last things too is I definitely wanted to go ahead and thank our sponsor this evening, because without sponsorship, this wouldn't happen. And that is VA Loans of California, who can assist those that are looking to purchase a home, because that is a big decision, and really how to utilize our VA guarantee, our home loan guarantee, and check out VA Loans of California. And again, thank you.